Genius Quotes presents Best Quotes from Bernard Shaw. First love is only a little foolishness and a lot of curiosity. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. Peace is not only better than war, but infinitely more arduous. Patriotism is your conviction that this country is superior to all others because you were born in it. A fool's brain digests philosophy into folly, science into superstition, and art into pedantry. Hence, university education. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Marriage is an alliance entered into by a man who can't sleep with the window shut and a woman who can't sleep with the window open. The best place to find God is in a garden. You can dig for him there. Kings are not born. They are made by artificial hallucination. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. A gentleman is one who puts more into the world than he takes out. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. We learn from experience that men never learn anything from experience. We have no more right to consume happiness without producing it than to consume wealth without producing it. The power of accurate observation is commonly called cynicism by those who have not got it. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. Democracy substitutes election by the incompetent many for appointment by the corrupt few. Youth is a wonderful thing. What a crime to waste it on children. If history repeats itself, and the unexpected always happens, how incapable must man be of learning from experience? The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. It is the mark of a truly intelligent person to be moved by statistics. You see things, and you say why, but I dream things that never were, and I say why not? There is no sincerer love than the love of food. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Silence is the most perfect expression of scorn. Take care to get what you like, or you will be forced to like what you get. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. Use your health even to the point of wearing it out. That is what it is for. Spend all you have before you die. Do not outlive yourself. Democracy is a device that ensures we shall be governed no better than we deserve. Science never solves a problem without creating 10 more. All great truths begin as blasphemies. Clever and attractive women do not want to vote. They are willing to let men govern as long as they govern men. Just do what must be done. This may not be happiness, but it is greatness. A little learning is a dangerous thing, but we must take that risk, because a little is as much as our biggest heads can hold. No man ever believes that the Bible means what it says. He is always convinced that it says what he means. Life does not cease to be funny when people die any more than it ceases to be serious when people laugh. There is nothing more dangerous than the conscience of a bigot. The great advantage of a hotel is that it is a refuge from home life. You cannot be a hero without being a coward. There are no secrets better kept than the secrets everybody guesses. Beware of the man who does not return your blow. He neither forgives you nor allows you to forgive yourself. I learned long ago never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Hegel was right when he said that we learn from history that man can never learn anything from history. Youth is wasted on the young. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. Alcohol is the anesthesia by which we endure the operation of life. The worst sin toward our fellow creatures is not to hate them, but to be indifferent to them. That's the essence of inhumanity. Without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. You use a glass mirror to see your face. Do you use works of art to see your soul? I'm an atheist, and I thank God for it. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. What we want is to see the child in pursuit of knowledge and not knowledge in pursuit of the child. You can always tell an old soldier by the inside of his holsters and cartridge boxes. The young ones carry pistols and cartridges. The old ones, grub. The only service a friend can really render is to keep up your courage by holding up to you a mirror in which you can see a noble image of yourself. Every man over 40 is a scoundrel. The minority is sometimes right, the majority always wrong. When a man wants to murder a tiger, he calls it sport. When a tiger wants to murder him, he calls it ferocity. You'll never have a quiet world till you knock the patriotism out of the human race. The love of economy is the root of all virtue. Socialism is the same as communism, only better English. I dislike feeling at home when I am abroad. Hell is full of musical amateurs. It is a curious sensation, the sort of pain that goes mercifully beyond our powers of feeling. When your heart is broken, your boats are burned. Nothing matters anymore. It is the end of happiness and the beginning of peace. Love is a gross exaggeration of the difference between one person and everybody else. Do not do unto others as you expect they should do unto you. Their tastes may not be the same. He knows nothing and thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. England and America are two countries separated by the same language. The secret to success is to offend the greatest number of people. Everything happens to everybody sooner or later if there is time enough. Life contains but two tragedies. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it. I never resist temptation because I have found that things that are bad for me do not tempt me. The man with a toothache thinks everyone happy whose teeth are sound. The poverty-stricken man makes the same mistake about the rich man. The only way to avoid being miserable is not to have enough leisure to wonder whether you are happy or not. Do not waste your time on social questions. What is the matter with the poor is poverty. What is the matter with the rich is uselessness. No question is so difficult to answer as that to which the answer is obvious. The moment we want to believe something, we suddenly see all the arguments for it and become blind to the arguments against it. I enjoy convalescence. It is the part that makes the illness worthwhile. If all the economists were laid end to end, they'd never reach a conclusion. People become attached to their burdens, sometimes more than the burdens are attached to them. Property is organized robbery. Lack of money is the root of all evil. When a man says money can do anything, that settles it. He hasn't got any. The fickleness of the women I love is only equaled by the infernal constancy of the women who love me. When I was young, I observed that 9 out of 10 things I did were failures, so I did 10 times more work. I have to live for others and not for myself. That's middle-class morality. I never thought much of the courage of a lion tamer. Inside the cage, he is at least safe from people. When a stupid man is doing something he is ashamed of, he always declares that it is his duty. Life levels all men. Death reveals the eminent. Home life is no more natural to us than a cage is natural to a cockatoo. The only secrets are the secrets that keep themselves. Statistics show that of those who contract the habit of eating, very few survive. Few people think more than 2 or 3 times a year. I have made an international reputation for myself by thinking once or twice a week. We should all be obliged to appear before a board every 5 years and justify our existence, on pain of liquidation. The secret of being miserable is to have leisure to bother about whether you are happy or not. The cure for it is occupation. Better never than late. Old men are dangerous. It doesn't matter to them what is going to happen to the world. Power does not corrupt men. Fools, however, if they get into a position of power, corrupt power. It is dangerous to be sincere unless you are also stupid. Life would be tolerable but for its amusements. I often quote myself. It adds spice to my conversation. She had lost the art of conversation, but not, unfortunately, the power of speech. The first condition of progress is the removal of censorship. If you're not producing as much as you consume, or perhaps a little more, then clearly we cannot use the big organization of our society for the purpose of keeping you alive, because your life does not benefit us, and it can't be of very much use to yourself. Virtue is insufficient temptation. Human beings are the only animals of which I am thoroughly and cravenly afraid. Independence, that's middle-class blasphemy. We are all dependent on one another, every soul of us on earth. Most people do not pray. They only beg.